Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I am back and it is time for another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 bot AI cast. We have got ourselves what should be a good one here today. We're on the map Equilibrium, the AI edition of course, and we have got two great contestants here. Not players, because they're not human. In the top right, it's BombShaker. And in the upper left, it's going to be Zozo, which is a very good name for bots. For a bot, I feel. Short and simple. Now, we'll see. Is BombShaker going to be going for a command center first in this game? Maybe right after it finishes getting a very quick first blood. Zozo did go for a scout, however, I'm not sure it got too much information other than SCVs are jerks. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoy these botcasts, as always, and for probes being stabbed to death by SCVs, hit that like button. Subscribe if you aren't. Use that bell icon so you get notified just whenever I put up a new video. Consider becoming a YouTube member. Join the Discord, which is linked down below. And yeah, we see BombShaker going for a very early command center, whereas Zozo is doing what Protoss bots do more, which is go for a heavy, or go for early gates, and less early expansions compared to a normal PvT. Like in a normal PvT, it's almost always one gate, or one gate Cybercore expands, but the bots, I think they probably just, if I had to guess, it's probably just too difficult to make a bot that defends properly as Protoss in the early game. So I imagine that's why these bots go for later expansions as Protoss. And oh yeah, I forgot. Leave a comment down below that says more bots if you want to see more bots. We have BombShaker seemingly going for the planetary strategy, using that very strong planetary defense mechanic, and we do indeed see that on the way. So rushing into the eBay, a very strong strategy, as it's just almost impossible for your opponent to break. At least for a bot, anyway. Even for human players, making the commitment on a planetary fortress can be a little challenging at times. You're like, man, just how much can those 16 SCVs around that base repair, you know? And so we'll see if BombShaker is going to go for an orbital or a planetary in its main base. I imagine it'll be an orbital in the main, because it needs scanning, that kind of thing. It's got a factory on the way behind this. However, as far as early game aggression goes, it does not need to worry too much, just trickling out Marines. I am wondering if we will see that orbital command be produced. There it is, yeah. Just was waiting for the production to end and it to have the money. Now, Zozo is expanding up behind this, getting a shield battery at the natural to defend. It will be slower in the economy because of BombShaker's super quick planetary, but then at the same time, BombShaker is paying the price for this planetary. The price of about, what is it, 250 minerals every 40-ish seconds? Something like that, a little less, 38 seconds, because a mule makes you about somewhere between 250 to 275 minerals, and then it takes about 40 seconds because energy regens at like 1.2 a second, so then you are losing a lot of resources by committing to that early planetary. That's why we never see pro players go for a third base planetary. We see them go for a third base or a fourth base planetary, but that's where it becomes worth it and they can afford it. Whereas when you're trying to get every little edge, going for the planetary is a big commitment. And so it's understandable though why BombShaker elects to go for this strategy. It's incredibly strong, as we've seen time and time again. Protoss doesn't have options like that, which is why Protoss bots tend not to expand as quickly. And so now we see though Zozo potentially going to be getting a little bit aggressive. It's got 6 stalkers out, making 2 more. No warp gate out for Zozo, I believe. So it's just producing off the gateways. And then getting a forge behind this. It's also scouting around with a probe, which is cool to see. Deciding where it's going to attack maybe, but we have 7 Stalkers going to be crossing the map with a Prism. We'll see if they're going to attack this natural base, because I don't think they'll have much success there with the siege tank with the planetary. However, if Zozo elects to elevate its units into the main base, then it may have some success, but I don't believe it's going to go for that. It's going to charge on in, it's going to shoot the planetary, shoot an SCV, and lift up those Stalkers and get them out of there. But this is why we see the strength of the planetary being something that BombShaker, I believe, goes for every single game. Programming a bot to break a PF, it's just not doable. Not easily doable. That's why we usually see the PFs get broken when a bot, say, goes for... when a bot runs out of resources, or it can't get up an expansion and they can't repair it eventually. So, yeah, we'll see where BombShaker's going to take this game. Going into this ragtag group of units, it looks like Cyclones, Banshees on the way. So Zozo's going to have a tall order if it tries to keep breaking this location. There's 2 tanks there. The Prism can try and pick up, but even a bot seemingly can't micro fast enough to avoid tank shots. And honestly, Zozo's micro did save the Stalker there, but it did not save 7 of the others, so its engage, disengage behavior maybe needs to be tweaked a little bit. It does have a 3rd base on the way, so it's not just sitting back or not just throwing units endlessly into the slaughter. It's getting out an Immortal as well, but it's going to be trying to attack again. BombShaker is just happily taking these donations is what they are. 3rd base for BombShaker is under threat, however, and so that's going to get canceled. That's a good attack for Zozo. We see BombShaker trying to place down a turret. That gets killed. The problem is for Zozo, when it decides to break the natural once more, we'll see how good... I mean, Immortals are good, but they're not 2 tanks and a planetary good. Hopefully, Zozo retreats and keeps that alive. Looks like the Prism is programmed well to micro away from that Cyclone lock-on. Like, it wasn't avoiding the tank shots or saving units when they were on low HP, but as soon as one of those units got locked onto, it did lift them up, it appears. Now, we have got building armor on the way for BombShaker. It says this planetary isn't strong enough. It needs to be bigger. Zozo's getting up a 4th base, so it is macroing hard. No 3rd or 4th up for Zozo. Or for BombShaker, pardon me. So Zozo is able to keep pushing and potentially denying this base, which it does once more. Nicely done. It will get a good economic lead. The problems are going to start arising, however, as there's these Banshees, which are microing well against the Stalkers. The Prism is doing a great job lifting those units up, but I think it is just too few Stalkers against too many Prisms. The micro is really good, though, as far as dodging those shots go from the Banshees and from the Cyclones. Zozo just trying to push with an Immortal, a Prism, a Dream, and a Stalker. Okay, a couple more units coming on in here. Zozo's moving on out. There's a Banshee in the main base, still retreating and defending. I believe some other Banshees are getting repaired on up. Yes, they are. So Terran bots big fans of that strategy to just endlessly repair. Immortals are stepping forward. They can't do much against the Banshees, however. And then they got to retreat as they're very low on HP. The Prism is keeping some of these units alive, but yeah, it's definitely time for Zozo to get on out of there. Nothing can lift up the Prism to save the Prism from a Cyclone lock-on. These Immortals are eating Banshee shots, which just makes me want to cry, because Immortals are such good units, but not versus Banshees. And losing one is usually a pretty darn big deal. 3rd base, though, is still being denied for Zozo. It's also scouting out with its probe once again, so it's got good scouting behavior, seeing, yeah, you are on 2 bases, I'm on 4 bases. It's even making a Stargate now, so great redundancy there from the blue bot. If it makes a Banshee, or I mean not a Banshee, a Phoenix, it will just kill all the Banshees. Okay, these Immortals microing back. There's a good amount of the blue units here for Zozo. The 3rd base did, however, or one floated over and landed, I believe, unless I missed the whole base building. Banshee's still microing back against the Stalkers, doing a good job at it. There is an observer, so the Banshees are eating shots. A good amount of SCVs are being killed here as well. The resources lost definitely not in the favor for Zozo. It's getting okay trades here and there. It's also now making a Void Ray, making 4 Stalkers. The fact that it's not making any more Immortals, I think, is a good sign. Maybe realizing that it is against a primarily air composition. Also getting up another Gateway, just trickling out those Stalkers, producing them the old-fashioned way. We'll see if Zozo's going to go for a 5th base behind this or not. But for now, though, BombShaker has held on. It did defend there. No blink or anything for Zozo. No +1 attack. It's definitely got the resources to make lots of stuff, but it just is not really spending its money as efficiently, potentially, as it could. It's got decent macro, just churning out these Stalkers, now making a Void Ray, getting out another Prism. Trying to break this Planetary, though, is something that will not likely happen. The Void Ray has potential, seeing as how there's not too much anti-air. There is a couple Vikings, however, in the 3 Cyclones. So Zozo getting pushed on back. And it's interesting how these bots are always just like... It's always one bot's attacking hard and one bot's just kind of chilling. Just like, yeah, I can totally survive this. And BombShaker has held on. Now that it's been able to defend multiple of the attacks, it's now getting up a fourth base, it's getting up a 5th base, and all of a sudden it's broken free. Zozo could be in a lot of trouble here, as it's just constantly making these Stalkers and Void Rays. Whereas it's like, if Zozo just sat back a little bit and built up an army, maybe it could win this game, but this just attacking on in behavior is not it at a certain point. Which is why it's gotta be a lot of work, but having some checks in your bot to be like, I've attacked 9 times, and I have killed not a lot. Maybe it's time to pool twice the amount of units before the next attack, kind of thing. I don't know how well that would actually work in practice. As far as trying to solve this problem, though, which it just charges in with some non-upgraded Stalkers. Non-blinking Stalkers as well. We see 4 Ravens on the way for BombShaker. So that's a lot of Ravens that are being produced. It does have building armor, high-sec auto-tracking, so the turrets or the Ravens benefit from that. Stalkers being pushed back is now BombShaker taking the army supply lead, pushing Zozo away. And this is a little sad, as Zozo's making like 1 Void Ray at a time, whereas it could get like Flux Veins and make like 5 Void Rays at a time, or make carriers, that kind of thing. Something a little bit better against this composition. Unfortunately, it's just sticking with the, I'd say tried and true, but it's not really Stalker strategy. So yeah, well done by BombShaker, just expanding up now. There's nothing really to stop it. It hasn't made these bases planetaries yet, because it's very short on gas. It is, however, getting up more bases, and seeing as how Zozo's completely on the back foot now, it's doing the old defend by attacking, and it's definitely spending all its gas on Ravens, which is why it cannot afford a planetary fortress. Resources lost is 4,000 to 16,000. Not good for the Protoss bot, which also hasn't secured up another expansion. It may just be doing that now. Either that or that probe scouting now. It looks like it's just staying on 4 bases. And so Zozo was doing a decent job containing, but it just goes to show how attacking into a planetary is where the trades really fall off, and that other strategies may be needed. A very enjoyable game regardless, though. Zozo's Prism Micro was something to really enjoy. I'm not saying this game is over yet, but I have cast probably... How many bot games do you guys think I've cast at this point? Maybe, I mean, if we count Alpha Star games, probably like 1,000. But like bot games, somewhere between like 300 and 500 if I had to take a guess. Maybe? I don't know. I'm a very inconsistent YouTuber, so it's hard to know. We do see, though, the reason why I'm saying things are kind of futile here for Zozo is the fact that the trades just are continuously being bad and show no signs of improving. Battery overcharge does get popped, so Zozo has got that behavior. The mass auto turret usage by BombShaker with its 23 Ravens, taking a note out of Ketrock's book. You might have to cast a BombShaker versus Ketrock match again, because that's how this spot plays. Stalkers trading out as well as they can, but the Cyclone lock-ons are just too much. The Prism is microing a little bit. There's just not enough here, unfortunately. I would have loved to see Zozo transition, get Blink or something like that to help it out a little bit. But, and who knows, maybe the bot author will tweak it a little bit. Probes being pulled into auto turrets, not a good sign. BombShaker expanding all over the place. Zozo scouting once again, but still just staying on the 4 bases, which is interesting. I mean, Stalkers are holding on. They're skirmishing, and it looks like BombShaker is being pushed back a teeny tiny bit. I mean, as I say that, the auto turrets kill like all the Stalkers, so yeah, it's not looking too good for BombShaker. Battery overcharge gets popped again. Stalkers still trading out. Probes being pulled into the many auto turrets. Ladies and gentlemen, on this channel we cast the good, the bad, and the ugly as far as bot games go. You guys can let me know in the comments down below what you think this one was. But do leave a comment. Say more bots. As we witness BombShaker just cruising at 60,000 APM. Getting attack upgrades for its... as it's already got the armor for its ground and sky. Getting up more bases. It has actually turned these into planetaries at this point. It's now wiped the 3rd base of Zozo. Zozo unable to produce its constant stream of Stalkers at this point. And yeah, that is going to be that. I think it's safe to say. Auto turrets galore. The placement is definitely funny of BombShaker, where it's like, put it here, no, there, everywhere. As far as placing the auto turrets, I imagine that's an interesting programming challenge, trying to make it so that your bots will place the turrets properly. Scans going down as well. Zozo has 1 base. It makes a Zealot when it can't make a Stalker. You gotta love that. And it's trying to expand again. So it does go to show that Zozo's got good redundancy in a lot of things. Just its unit composition and decision to attack non-stop there wasn't the best for that matchup. Thanks so much to everyone for watching. I'll see you guys next time.